Today's date is August 17, 2024. We're at the Catholic Center here, and these gentlemen today and women are also going on a honor flight to Washington, D.C. in first week of October 2024. And today's the interview day where they had to fill out things of what service they were in. We have Samuel Combs and his wife here. And if you see on that hat, that's the Marine Corps. So those guys ate nails, and his wife didn't have to feed him much. So he eats that lead. They're Semper Fi. So we're going to ask Samuel where he was born and what's your birth date, Samuel?
I was born in Madisonville, Kentucky, April the 8th, 1937.
Okay. April 8th, 1937. So you're 87 years of age now.
87.
Okay. So Madisonville, Kentucky, and you came to Evansville. Probably your parents came here for work, or why did you move to Evansville?
Well, now I haven't moved to Evansville. I'm still living in
Madisonville. Okay. And if you're born in 37, did your parents work here in Evansville or worked in Madisonville?
Madisonville.
Coal mines mostly?
Coal mines and the hospital.
Yeah.
And
It's called Trover Hospital. They were big there in the coal mine, yeah, at Madisonville. Madisonville's about 40 miles south of Evansville, Indiana. Big airport there in Kentucky. So then you born in 37, so you got in the Marine Corps probably 1950 or so. When did you enlist and where did you enlist? Did you go to school in Madisonville?
I went to school in Madisonville, Rosenwald High School.
What's the name of Rosenthal?
Rosenwald.
Rosenwald High School. Is it still there?
It's still there,
Uh-huh.
but it's not a school anymore.
Yeah. Just a building.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and then when did you go to the Marine Corps? How old were you?
Went in the Marine Corps when I was 19, September 17th, 1956.
My wife's birthday, September 17th. I can remember that, 56. So you were 29 years of age then.
No, 19.
19. Okay, you're 19. And then you got in Marine Corps. You signed up at Madisonville or Evansville or Louisville?
I signed up in Madisonville, and they sent me to Louisville
For your physical. And then go ahead.
Went to Paris Island, South Carolina.
Well, you went to real Marine Corps. You didn't go to Hollywood. You didn't go out to California. You had the mosquitoes and the swamps and the heat. Did you go in the summer?
I went in September.
Well, a little cooler, but it's still bad there. It's still hot.
Sand fleas.
Oh, they eat you alive.
Yeah.
And those gunnies would beat you up too.
That's it.
At that time, they beat the heck out of you. You didn't smart off to anybody, did you?
Nobody.
Yes, sir, no, sir. And they still mad at you.
That's it.
It didn't matter what you said. You survived boot camp. When you got out of that 8 weeks, you were a man. You were a boy before you became a man in 2 years, 2 months.
3 months.
3 months. Oh my God, I couldn't take it for a week. 3 months. How much weight you lose?
I didn't lose any weight at all.
Yeah.
Then I think I weighed about 135 when I went in. When I got out, I was same weight. I didn't lose weight until after I got out and came
You can
home.
still wear your uniform. I can't wear mine. I can't fit it. You can still get in yours. So you didn't gain weight like me.
No.
You got in Marine Corps, and so then your parents on them for 3 months, and then where'd you go?
Went to North Carolina, Camp Lejeune,
Uh-huh.
for advanced combat training for 1 month.
You could probably beat up anybody in your high school after that, couldn't you? You're pretty strong then.
Now I'll tell you this, they told me I could, but I didn't believe it.
You had to do karate, all that stuff. If they said you could beat anybody in high school, you were still going to pick on those football players. You're not a big guy.
They told me I could whoop any 2 men. They put 2 of the biggest people I've ever seen on me. I know I didn't win that.
They were going to prove to you. Yeah. Okay, so then after Camp Lejeune, where'd you go?
At Camp Lejeune, I went on peacekeeping tours. So the Mediterranean for 6 months on med cruises. At the time, I went on 2 of those.
So your med cruise, were you on a ship, LST?
Yeah.
Were you on an LST?
I was stationed on USS Rockbridge, the first one. It was an APA troop carrier. The second time I was on USS Forrestal. And aircraft carrier for 6 months.
Yeah, so what was that first one?
USS Rockbridge.
Yeah, so that was probably a troop transport.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of Marines on. I worked with Marines during my time. I was in the Navy 24 years. We took the Marines everywhere. So they had probably a lot of Marines on there, and it was a safety thing in the Mediterranean. But then the Forrestal is a famous aircraft carrier, and
Right.
Forrestal actually jumped off he committed suicide in the late 50s. He was the Secretary of the Navy, and he jumped off the Bethesda Naval Hospital, had bad depression. But the Forrestal was a pretty important aircraft carrier, and you were on that. They
Right.
did a lot of important things. They were World War II aircraft carrier, I believe, and then you were on it in the 50s. You didn't attack anybody there? We were
No,
at peace
we
then.
Never had any attacks at all.
And then you had,
Only thing was we were out in the Mediterranean aboard ship, and we were just looking over the side, and I saw a fireball come out of the water, go across, and they sounded, what they call it, general quarters. They took all the Marines down to the bottom of the ship, and then the Navy took over. And when they let us come back up, I don't know how long it was, but when time was up and they brought us back up, I think every ship in the Second Fleet was there.
was that a
Sixth
Russian
Fleet.
submarine that sent something up?
Submarines, they had submarines and fighter
Yes.
planes, everybody. I think I counted 32 ships when I come back up and looked out there.
You're pretty scared of general quarters. General quarters means big problem.
Right.
And that fireball you saw might have been a rocket or a bomb or something.
Nobody ever knew
Yeah.
what it was.
Was it coming out of the water or going in the water?
It came out of the water.
That's a sub shooting a rocket, probably.
That's what they thought it was anyway. Nobody ever really identified it or
Did you
told
see
us
it? You
what-
saw it?
I saw it myself.
Well, you knew we were in trouble then. You had to get down the deck. Now, after those 2 years, the one on the carrying the other troop ship, where'd you go? Would you go back to, you had 2 years in Marines, or you do more?
I did 3 years. And we went to Cuba, France, Italy, Spain, Puerto Rico. Of course, they were just, goodwill tours. You
Yeah.
go one place and stay maybe 4 or 5 days, and then you'd leave and go somewhere else. And
You get off the ship, or you'd stay on the ship?
You
Get off the
had
ship
time to get off the ship.
and you live off the ship, or you go back to the ship at night?
Go back at night.
Yeah. So you had liberty, so you guys had a good time at night.
Right.
I was stationed in Gitmo a little bit.
Gitmo.
There's nothing there at
That's where I
Gitmo.
was.
There's
No.
nothing there. I mean, you got a movie theater and nothing. But you were in Spain, probably rolled to Spain, and then
I was in Alicante and Valencia, Spain.
yeah. You didn't know geography before you left Massville, but after you got to war, you knew geography. My kid didn't know any geography until you got to work for some airlines. They knew geography, but you didn't teach you that in Massville. But then you learned about Europe and Puerto Rico and Gitmo. You didn't know that before.
No,
Yeah. So it's educational. What do you think about our next generation of kids? So you're 87. What do you think about our freedom, and what do you think about what the next generation should do and how important our freedom is?
I think every American should try to join some parts of the service.
Well, I think you're right there. Israel makes the girls and the boys work for 18 months, and they learn discipline. They learn say yes or no. So we're such a free country, they don't even know how to say yes or no, sir. So I think, Samuel, what you're saying there, every person needs to go in for a while. Right now, 1% of our, less than 1%, we don't have very many in the service. They don't understand how to say yes or no, sir. And you learned that. You didn't know that before you went in. I doubt if you were as good as disciplined in high school as you were when you got in.
I think it was.
Were you? So you were already a little bit disciplined. Yeah, but not everybody is.
I started out in Boy Scouts.
Uh-huh.
I made first class scout before I went in service. And if I had stayed out, I guess I might have made Eagle Scout, I'm not sure. But when I went in service, they looked at my Boy Scout records and all, and they took it from there.
Yeah. You know, if you get to be Eagle Scout or go up into Boy Scouts, that's the third most read book in the world. One is the Bible, two is things on Lincoln and Hitler, but the third one is the Boy Scout manual. If you could do that old manual, you could do about anything. It's really very good. So they saw that in the military, they knew you had some discipline and you knew how to think, but not everybody's like you, you know. But I think you're advised for the next generation. Everybody should go in for a little while. And I totally agree with you, and we need to change it. And everybody, the rich and the poor, everybody needs to go. It can't be just anybody that enlists, I think. Yeah. Well, thank you, Samuel, and we'll mail the tape of this to you so your wife and your kids got it. And then you come to our War Museum. We've had people from Massville come up. We're right by the airport. We've been open for about 8 years, open 5 days a week, and we got all kinds of things you'd like to see. We're going to do an exhibit on Iwo Jima, and that's one of the #1 Marine Corps things in the world. More Medal of Honors from Iwo Jima than anywhere else, and we're getting that exhibit open about 3 months. We're going to have Holocaust exhibit open, teach people a lot of things. So bring some grandkids up, and we got simulators there to teach you to fly. So love to see you.
All right.
Okay. All right.